And today we're in Tom Kenny's shop, gorgeous shop that makes mine.
So can you hear the audio now?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Look terrible. I'm going to go home and burn it, I think. Anyway, I have a whole crew. It's something I'm not used to. I have Walt Wager as technical director and Tom Kenny on camera and whatever else he's got behind all his electronics. And my wife Rita, who's going to show some techniques later. This will be a two-part demo. I was afraid that I was going to run too long with one, so I'm going to do this in two segments. You can either show them one or two. The first one will be an offset bowl. It'll be a bowl similar to this with an offset cavity in it. We have a couple of different pieces of that, like that. And also, this is all new equipment to me, so if it looks like I don't know what I'm doing, it's exactly right. Let's start out with a flat piece of wood, like this. I'm going to put it against the face plate. First, I'm going to, over your camera. First thing I do is put a line right across it. I do an overhead. I'll put a line right across it, which I've already got on here. And then I'm going to do about a 2-inch ring, so I'm just going to put a mark here. 1 inch. I don't use too many. I don't use that woodworm and some of the other things. This is the way I mount most of my things. Oh, my flesh is gorgeous. I got to get used to this. No, I better not get used to this. There we go. And put this on here on center. Here. And now I'm going to make a mark. I'll draw a circle on here. I'm going to cut a recess in here. That's for the jaws of my on the chuck to fit in. Here we go. I'm going to cut this probably, this will be the inside of the cavity of the bowl. So I'll probably go about 2/16 of an inch and then just get removed later. It's hard to get in there to the side of this thing. So I have a special tool right here. We have specialty tools. This is a screwdriver that was damped and sharpened so that it's a parting tool offset about 20 degrees. So you go right down the side here and cut a square edge in there. One of the keys to wood turning is learning how to sharpen. You gotta learn how to sharpen everything. But that's put the square edge in there. Pause. Okay, now I put a chuck on here. I figure out how to release this. There it goes. Okay. Now I take the piece. This is also I got tired of messing with those little wire tool handles or the chuck handles. And you get much more pressure with this. It should fit inside of here. And I bring this up, probably put this against here. Like that's for pressure. And expand into here. Now, you can get rid of this. I'll face this off. I'll face this off, and this is going to be a sacrificial tenon that I'm going to glue on here. So this will get faced off, and this will glue onto here. I actually use my lathe as the clamping. I've got a center on here. So when I cut this out on the bandsaw, it's rough, but I can put it right on the center here. Bring it up. This would be faced off and sanded. So I've got a nice flat surface. I put some yellow glue on here, bring this up and tighten it. And now it's tightened on there. And I can turn this around. In fact, I would actually turn this around right here and then be all done with this side. Oh, then from here, I can actually turn the back of this. I have one all glued up, and I'll put that on next. Pause. Okay. There's a miracle of television. The glue head dried, and it's mounted on a chuck. And the first thing I have to do is turn the tenon and get it to fit the, we're going to use it. I'm going to use my offset chuck. This is going to be the chuck in the next operation. And this will be the offset frame that this tenon is going to fit into. Hopefully. Yeah. So now we can get the offset of this bowl cavity. That'll be later. I'll show that in a few minutes. But first, we have to make this tenon fit this hole, which is about inch and 5/8 thing. So I'll flatten it off.
Okay. There it is.
I also want to make it about the same length as the thickness of this piece of wood. Now I'll turn the 3/8 spindle guide. For much of this later, I'll bring up the tailstock. I like to use the tailstock. I'll turn the back of the bowl. Get that all done before I take it around and go off center with it. Pay close attention to this because this is what's going to happen on the next video. We're going to do the same kind of thing, only I'm going to go through this real fast, and then we'll cut the veins in it. It's like robust lathe, but that's bad.
Slots.
I set my calipers to the size of this hole, or pretty close. At the size that. Up to there. I'll clean this off. There's seeing if this fits on here, which it does. And it's even and flush on the edge of here, so that's pretty good. This isn't the first one of these I've turned, okay? Usually go through 4 or 5 different trial and errors. But now I know I've got this done, and that's going to fit on my offset chuck. So now I can bring up the tailstock and actually turn a bowl. I'm turning a bowl, I like to go about 45 degrees and take the corners off. This could be all kinds of different shapes, but for now I'll just I'll make a right now. I'll just make a regular bowl. This is a 3/8 spindle down. This is a little light. And this is a 3/8 bowl gouge. Turning done with this hand. This hand presses down.
One and 1/8.
Can't imagine how much fun it is to make this kind of shavings, but in this clean of shop, it's another experience. It's like doing something. Almost. But this could be OG. This could be a.
No.
Bring it up. Some things I'm going to stand in here, but I'm not going to do it. It's looking pretty good. It's kind of bowl shaped. Not too bad a cut.
Oh.
And what I'll do, make a mark. I'm going to put a base on this or start the base. We'll cut this off later. Base about here. So that's going to be flat. I'll make a little.
Nice.
After some minor repairs, I broke the lathe. I put a line on here, and I'll put I'll make a little base. I think they don't like that. Then I'll bring this around. And this will turn flat. This will be the center of this will get removed when I remove the sacrificial sheet. I just want from this shoulder out to be finished. I think this would be ready to stand. It's pretty good. And standing is done. I won't stand too much, but I have a sander. They can plug in here and buzz around. What's the grid on here? I do yours. I'm sanding this here. I slow this down to sand, and I won't do too much on here, but just show. Something like watching somebody sand the bowl. Anything else? Yeah. I'm not going to do too much of it. It's tighten this up. Take this off. Now we got the bowl turned with a sacrificial tenon on it. This would be sanded completely. I could put a burn mark in there or something, but I'm not going to do that. I'll take this chuck off. Normally I would remove 2 jaws on here, but I have 2 chucks. One with the jaws already removed. So with that, now with a sliding fence here, or I can put this in. I'm going to put it in at 0. Tighten this up. Now that should be pretty close to flat. Isn't too bad. It's off a little bit. What happens is my sliding frame on every chuck is a little different. So you never know. When you make one and you dedicate it to a chuck, it's dead on. But when you make one and you try a different, if you try it on a different set of jaws or something, it's off just a little bit. That's pretty close. See, that's off, well, I don't know, 1/16 of an inch at the most. But that should be better now. Yeah. And I'll face it off. Here again, this right now should be up against that stop. But I'm out probably 1/16 of an inch, but that's just because I'm using on different jaws or different chucks or whatever. That's going to give me my offset this way. So what I want to do now is face this off. All I have to do is face off the outside part of it. You could use the tail side. The center of this gets burned out anyway, so it doesn't make any difference. That's pretty good. That's the outside here. They want the outside edge perfect. And I'm going to put a mark inside here now. And I'll use a point tool to do that. I'll just go in exactly 3:30 seconds. See that? And I go in about that much. And normally I would take a piece of formica and burn that. But I didn't bring any formica, so that's fine. It just designates the outside edge of that. My assistant later will burn that with her burn. I'm going to now put this parallel. My frame is now parallel to the floor, parallel to the bed, flat. And I'm going to put a line on here, right through the center, like this. I'll bring the center up because the center's probably moved a little bit. And I'm just going to dimple the center. Perfect, just above. And I probably, in fact, I really don't even have to do that. What I'm going to do is now, I've got the bowl turned, everything's on center. Now I'm going to look at this, and I'm going to put this off center about 1/4 of an inch at the most. Oh, it's perfect. You can tell this is absolutely precision. Anyway. And anytime you do offset turning, you do a lot of pencil work first. Before you start cutting things to pieces, you know you've moved it that way, so this is going to be the closest place. And I want this outside rim. This is what I'm doing, what I'm making now. I've got the outside rim turned. And now I want to put the cavity in the bowl. So I'm looking at this part here. I've slid this over, the piece over, off center this way. So this is going to be the thin part of the turning. So now, also you'll notice I'm turning this counterclockwise. If you turn this clockwise, if you get a catch, it's going to break the pencil. If you turn it counterclockwise, I'm going to start in the same place because this is the same narrow spot that I want. But now you can see I'm turning a different cavity.
That's got to be.
See, the cavity is different. I have much bigger cavity now.
Okay.
I'm going to have a burn line on the outer part of this.
So next.
And then I'm going to burn on the inner part of this too. So I'm going to have this, I've got this burn line established. I'm going to burn this line next. So I'll put the line in there that designates that. Make sure this is tight.
7, 6.
I never had one fly out, but I have heard of it happening. Believe that? Anybody believe that? Anyway, now it's in there. And I'm going to turn the speed down a little bit because I'm not too sure if this lathe bounces up and down. But there it goes. Doesn't have to be down that much. You can see I'm on this center. You can see that. I'll actually cut that line in there.
Should be 1 3/4.
Like I see, that would get burned. And then this is going to be the start of the cavity. I want the cavity to start in here.
So.
Now, these bowl gouge, and I'll start turning the cavity.
Nope.
Make a light cut. Yeah, ride the bevel. This hand is doing the turning. This hand just watches. Anytime you start turning with your hands, you're gonna have grooves and things in there that you don't want. So center out of there, which is my mounting center. Fluoresce is a little bit high. I'll change that in a minute. I get these shaped up a little bit. I could be a little more aggressive, but with offset turning, things that were the grooves that were cut in there can come slamming around. So it's best to do smaller cuts. If you enjoy turning, why do people want to rush it? Turn your tool straight up and down, zero position, pick up that first bead that I cut in there, and the rest it'll be the start of the cavity of the ball. For a second, see what things look like. You can see where we're at here. We'll lower this a little bit. Could face this off just a touch and then cut that groove in. Just a little bit of wobble when I went off center here. I should have checked that, but I didn't. So, anyway, I'll just clean this up. And Rita will enhance it with her magic later. Let's see. Did that right? Yeah. That looks good. Center. A little more aggressive now because you're back on the other center. Always keep your hands on this side of the tool rail. You'll learn that real quick. It's really hurt, especially when this thing's going very fast. I mean, it's really. And the second time you do it, it really hurts. That stays at home. I'm just going to do it by eye. But by offsetting the cavity in the center just a little bit like this, it changes it from a regular bowl. This is just a plain piece of maple, hard maple. Could be 7 inches in diameter, about 1.25 inches thick. Changes it from a plain $15 bowl to a $25 bowl. It's almost no more time. And they sell unbelievable. People just on the track and turn it real fast. Huh? Little ways to go yet here. We drink. Make the bowl come down square. You gotta remember there's got a thin side and a thick side here, so don't go nosing off the thick side. Because you'll be able to keep you the thin side real quick. I'd like to tell you what the grind is on this node, but I grind them by eye, I have no idea. And as the situation changes, even hardwood, softwood, I change the grind, and idea if the grind is on there, swept back and can use closer. The wings, the wings are the, I like to use the center of the tool more, the most of the couple. The last torque on the tool handle, and it picks up the bevel better. And it's getting pretty close. Check here with my calipers. Where's the thin part of the bowl over here? Yeah, that's getting pretty close. I could go deeper, a little deeper. And this one. Center, there's not, I'm not turning, I turn much chassis in this at home. I want to do, I want to show the whole thing and be safe and whatever, but at home I turn much fast. When you get toward the center of the bowl, you're tooling people that weren't going fast the tool is on the magnet. So that's where you pick up these bounces because you're jamming into the wood. You got to slow the cut down. I think that'll be a fabric. Like that. That's a pretty good offset. And it's turned, it's probably 3/8 thick on the bottom. So now we'll take this apart. The check. So now we've got the outside turned. And it could have gone out a little further here, a little bit, but this will give Rita more surface. But you can see the bowl cavity. The offset chuck is made by taking two jaws out of a regular chuck. This is a Talon, a one-way Talon chuck, and I've taken the two jaws out. I leave jaw number 2 and 4. 4 has the pin in it, it stops it from taking itself apart. This thing fits in here and slides back and forth. There's dozens of different kinds of chucks that index, and I don't know, they start at $80 and go to $800, and they cam over, they do all kinds of things. This is intuitive. When this moves a quarter of an inch, it's moved this bowl a quarter of an inch off center. And when you clamp this, there's an expansion in here that clamps that tight. So when this goes in this hole like that, and this clamps down, that thing is locked, and it can go off center anywhere you want it. You can put it an inch and a half off center if you want it, if you're fearless. But it's intuitive. Okay. I've taken this out of the chuck. We've got the cavity turned, and I would have these 2 lines burned, but I've got them cut in there, and Rita will show that next anyway. I'll put this centered against the flat plate and oil this up. Now, this would be all sanded and ready to go. So I think all I have to do now is I switched to safety glasses. If I don't get my head underneath this, I didn't realize I was doing that. But I didn't realize a lot of things. Demo, you always pick soft wood so it's easy to cut. What's your name? Duxbury, and then you pick the hardest piece of wood. That's soft, okay? I have no idea what this stuff is, or how it's made. It ain't nice. Turn against the faceplate. Try to put most of the pressure when you're hogging things toward the faceplate. Here's the external guy. Do some detail, but I'll turn this turn down. Make a detail here, nice flat bottom. That's the center. This will be the ring that will stick on. That's the center. Like that. Then break it. Gotta raise this tool rest a little bit. I'm too low. Cut this off. I gotta raise this a little bit. I have no idea what that block of wood is, but hope I never see another one. Okay. Here again, I'm turning right on center, or close to the center, so you can increase the speed if it's all in balance. Now I take this down slow, and I'll define this a little more. And I like to put a ring in, a signature ring. I do have a quarter-inch skew. The quarter-inch skew laying flat. Move this a little bit. Edge over here. Yeah. Now I can stand that up. I can take this down no more. Center, a lot of people chisel them off. I have the vibrator, the door jam saw, whatever it is, a little vibrator saw. It just vibrates saw. I stand this here. No. I stand this, and then I remove it. I take my little vibrator saw, and I would just go in here and saw this off. This would probably just break off like that. And sand that, finish sand that, and the whole thing's done. Okay.
Hi, everybody. I'm Rita Duxbury, and I'm the assistant in Jim's shop. He's the master, so I get to do all of the sweeping up and all of the little menial tasks that are around. When he finishes one of the bowls, like the one he just recently finished, we have a variety of things, but as you see, the offset really is enhanced much better when you have some kind of an embellishment to it. So he usually gives me the bowl after he has signed it, because we want him, Jim Duxbury, to get the credit. So he signs the bowl on the bottom, and then he hands it to his assistant, and his assistant is able to do a little embellishing on it. And I'll put this aside. And I think it really enhances the little bowl quite well. So I'm going to show you very briefly, how I would embellish it. I have a micromotor, and I'm using some cup cutter tips that are interesting. They're different than using just a wood burner. They just actually burn a cup inside of the area. So I'm going to use the smallest one, which is on my micromotor here. I'm going to turn that on. And if you notice, before we do that, if you notice, Jim has put some lines in to outline the offset. I take a India ink marker or my wood burner, and I burn those lines, and I think that gives it a nice accent. So I've taken in this case, I've taken the India ink and permanent marker, and I've gone around and then accented those. Then with the micromotor, I burn, and you just burn and fill in the whole area. Like so. And I won't bore you with that. I might suggest too that before you do the micromotor, you take a piece of scrap wood. For instance, this is a maple bowl. So I've taken a piece of maple. Each type of wood burns differently and embellishes differently. So you might want to do a test run on a little piece of scrap wood before you begin, because some burn really easily, others you need much more energy to burn them, and walnut does certainly differently than maple. So I would suggest you take just a scrap piece of wood. Then I take what they call, this is something not probably new, but new to me, what they call daughters. A lot of people are doing these Mandela paintings, and this is what they use. They just dip the dot. This is a piece of plastic. They dip it in and they dot on their piece. So I'm usually using one of the ones that has a metal tip to it, and it's just got a round metal tip, and you dot it in the paint, and then you dot various places on your bowl, and I think it gives it a nice accent. So normally I would just take a little bit of paint and put it in a little cup, a little receptacle, and then I would go and just make some dots to give it a little color in various places. And you can do a lot or a little. I think sometimes a little is better than a lot, but it just gives it a little bit of a nice accent. And you can go all the way around. And you'll end up with something similar to this. This is cherry, and it has the micromotor with the cup cutter and then the blue accent. I think that gives it a nice little look. Thank you very much.
Wow. We don't want to see another one of those. Anyway.
All right.
Very nice all around. Thank you.
Yeah, great job.
All right. So floor is open for any questions that you have for Mr. Duxbury.
That's what it looked like in decent lighting and whatever else. I can't imagine what happened to that video. That was painful.
Oh, the video was fine.
It was all right.
The voice was not.
Anyway, even the sound went bad. I don't know what happened.
Jim, you did a great job, Jim.
Jim, I was front and center. I was front and center.
Yeah. Well, that's what it looks like without the painting. But that's just the cup burns.
Yeah, show us the paint on it again.
You get the one with the red on it? There's another one around here.
Okay, so she's painting where she burned it, is that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
She just hit a few of the dots.
Yeah.
And not too many. And
Yeah, it kind of makes it look pretty.
I love that. Yeah.
There it goes. There it goes.
There's a couple more.
Really
Yeah,
nice.
very pretty.
Here's one.
So she uses the dot painter to paint those dots.
Yeah,
The smallest one of the
the
smaller.
smaller one. And
You were using one of the steel ball tools, not one of the rod styluses.
yeah.
Okay, thank you.
It's
a neat effect. Wow.
Yeah, it just makes it.
Very nice effect.
But I like
Yeah.
the feel of it too, the texture.
When you just have something offset, it's just plain like that. You know, there's nothing. It doesn't highlight it, but when you can highlight it like that, it shows off better. Anyway, he's so unreal.
This is the thing.
Yeah, here's one. I did this one. This is not highlighted. You know, it's amazing what these cameras do, right?
Great job, Rita. You did okay too, Jim.
Yeah. He makes it work.
Billy made the best comment of the night.